Two-thirds of the season complete. The shores of the Caspian Sea. With calendar with qualifying coming your way. 6 kilometers long with speeds reaching foot flat down that long 2.0-degree corners to start the lap off. And the depth softer than last year. The Sea City of Wind for a reason. And in the commentary box to guide you through this one.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's lovely to be here. I love it. Max Verstappen, you can never discount. As per usual, will start as a favourite. Budapest before that. This feels a bit more like Monza.
But that Q1 is going to be busy, as we mentioned. You've also got things like yellow yet as well with the Azerbaijan Grand Prix contract. Now, one man, though, who has been... There's a bit of work going on down there at McLaren.
Hello, Harry. Hello, Karun. Hello, everybody from the pit bulls. Williams, Alpine, all red. Boy, there you go. You can see the Saubers at the front as they are out ahead of any of the weather. There is radar out on Lando Norris. I mean, first thing to say about Lando Norris, banging that McLaren into the wall, breaking the suspension, some metal bits of the floor, and I've seen Sport pass all of the legal checks, and they've just been just angle grinding on the carbon because they wouldn't have seen spikes of Ferrari and Max Verstappen.
What we quite like to entice ourselves in. It's going to be hectic, Karun.
Yes, and if you haven't done the compound to what we had last year for Pirelli, well, and drivers have been saving the somewhat unusual, of course, because we're used to seeing the softest to Harry, because there's twigs, there are branches up the sea, of course. One other factor at the start of qualifying for Q1 was that...
And there is a risk of rain as well, though it's down on the actual ground. It did rain a little heavier. Front wing waiting to go on Oscar Piastri.
Qualifying has, of course, officially started. The wing on, and wonder if they've found a late load in time. McLaren should be able to get...
We have both Alex Albon and Carlos, where he began the year, but certainly surrounded by trees is this track at times, and it just take a bit of time to clear up over the course of the first couple. Albon begins his first flyer on the
where the track is and how the wind will play effect. So, although if you stood from turn 2 to turn 1, like sort of tailwind into turn 16, but in direction all the way around the track.
Drivers are part of it where you find you out. Every team will have a strap. Collins, afternoon.
Good afternoon. I've now gone out behind me. I was keeping a close eye as for this first run in Q1 and first taste of the medium tyre. Can they get...
will come across the line first in. You can time it with a bit of toe as well. Down 16, then it swifts you right, left, yourself placed well. There is a lot of time to be gained. Wait for overtaking under a yellow flag in
braking zone on the track because you're turning right before the weight of the car. You've got to make sure you don't lock. That has been a real challenge throughout free practice. Chasing his 5th consecutive.
Have come back to life this weekend. Have they got that little edge where they might be able to so far?
Yeah, let's see how it goes, because Ferrari, throughout free practice, we saw it in Monza as well, really gauge on where the car will be for it becomes a bit more challenging. So there.
Let's see what Charles Leclerc has for half a second clear of Liam Lawson as Hamilton drivers. Lando Norris crossing the line now, though.
Piastri 4 tenths faster in just sector fraction, about a tenth quicker than we saw. Albon seems to have stopped between second fastest, but Piastri's middle
has hit the wall, so red flag. So Oscar Alex Albon, and that front left looks a little
inside wall. We've seen people doing that on the inside left that was damaged. So look for the front left, misjudged. Maybe misjudged just how much.
Oh, sorry.
That's a big mistake. I think it was here last year as well, where he left the pit lane qualified, but that will be Albon.
Looked like a car capable of getting in. Last year was into Q3. He'll be really annoyed with that, you know, when the pressure is on in qualifying.
Right now, though, he will drop out. That will. The end of that was Oscar Piastri, who has entire, and he will not get that lap. But they don't have lap times for the big...
In the middle sector to Norris, it has to be said.
Okay.
3 that had been blown off one of the surrounding trees here.
Yeah, it's sort of... You could see something. Get the leaves or a real issue in terms of above the driver's helmet. Again, that could create issues. Of course, for various things in the car. One lap necessarily. Any of these entry points into the car problem.
It certainly can. The one benefit around being won from outside the front row. Anything can happen, and as it says, plastered.
Well, we've had the branch shown onto the track from a fan zone. So cars into Q3, that's unexpected. On the medium tyres, the McLaren's going on them, but everyone else is going to have to throw potentially.
Clouting the inside apex at turn Q1 when we resume. He was out in Q1 in Bahrain at this session, back underway shortly. In the meantime,
because the strategist will be now with this red flag session and with 16 minutes. So, but we can actually get 2 runs in here, so we can get 2 runs for those drivers that haven't set a lap so far.
At 4:15 local time.
So they've gone straight back out for some of them. But look, Mercedes on mediums for both. I can't quite see what Ferrari on the medium as well. So we've got a mixture. The need to get a banker time on the board. Drivers going up escape rows and things like that. So there's a real jeopardy around improve. You get more rubber on the track the best at the end, but then you run the risk of Q1.
And it's his teammate Oscar Piastri at the moment. He's got the pace, but he couldn't finish his Williams. So Piastri is going to want to get
earlier. They haven't run the tyre before, so that's on the feeling you get under your foot when you found a tyre, and you've got to find into the pits. So he was
wonder if they're just bailing out of that one, or if there is a bigger problem
in their brains of what the medium tyre feels like. Their second or even sometimes their third put. Yeah, we'll see how they play. And he said they have got an option to
in the grandstands around here of these streets when it comes to qualifying. But this qualifying session back underway, and this is where we're going to see it really come down to the fight. How best to get enough clean air in front of you, a couple of seconds back from the car in front, and give yourself.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? When we are out, he's up to Kimi Antonelli.
He's been noted for a yellow.
I didn't see it.
Piastri in free practice for anyone who watched. Even if you don't see the yellow, by seeing, and therefore you practice for going flat out through that yellow.
That could be a penalty. Trying to look into Oscar Piastri's infringement. It's about that exact thing. You might not see the yellow zoom that you are in that yellow flag.
Drivers actually, because you know when you're in the I'm flat out. You don't think they've been briefed that way. They should be thinking that way.
Kimi Antonelli as well. Let's see what happens on that front turn 2 now. And actually, it's been an impulse, so Kimi Antonelli could be on board here.
So we'll worry about that.
We'll worry about it later, Kimi.
Let's just see a lock up and some under rotation into 4th. And this is where it gets very narrow. I think, is that car going to get out of the way? Lawson championship, a little bit of a correction into the
today's practice too, and he abandoned the lap on that occasion.
Make sure you don't have the lock up there. He's gone,
and that's it. That'll be the lap. But that is exactly the corner where we see that effect, as well as just getting the balance.
Things and trees around you. You're shielded. That big pushing you from behind, and you've got the big long and the entry to 16. That very good lap at the moment. There's yellow second place, right behind Lewis Hamilton.
Lucky for Oscar Piastri. That could have come out for this man, Nico Hülkenberg, at turn 4. He's back on his way though, so he's managed.
We've got away with just a yellow because he's got going again.
Out of 3.
Just didn't have the grip to slow down. Clear that debris. It's off. I think he hit it square on. So I think the suspension
is. I think he left most of his front wing down at.
There are some bits there, but I think
last 20th in last, only behind us, under investigation for overtaking. This is where he lost the lap. Zones. So he also had that lap time delete 6 minutes and 36 seconds. Well, they so have it to do as well. And Hülkenberg really to qualifying head-to-heads with Gabriel Bortoletti for the Ferrari driver.
Yeah, well, what do you think? 6 minutes 36 to go to be for, you know, the lot of qualifying, but Antonelli as well. What do you think they've been
forward with the only just under 640 was at risk? You need to have fuel in the car for that push. Drivers feel most comfortable, so you don't want to be at the back of the tree, and that's going to be so important. 2 seconds before the red flag were showing that yellow flags, red flags.
Albert, can you get a check in with Nico Hülkenberg?
In the front of it at the moment. There seems to be you take further part in the session. We had that.
We'll double check the regulations on that. Ted from pit.
The floor is broken and very on the car, and send Hülkenberg out. I'm sure they will.
As you say that, Ted, the pit lane really hotting up here. Medium tyres, and then it looks like medium beyond that. Plus signs P1 in this queue.
Last year, the likes of McLaren, bottom end of the pit lane, the entry of the boost. So it's not so much of a
times, just needs a 6.5 minutes.
Hülkenberg coming back out.
That little hint of yellow there. So the Gabby Bortoletti.
You know, it's just want to point out we have, you know, in recent times we were worried about on the board before the red flag.
And when Toto Wolff comes over the team, we'll resume at 4:28 local time. A go. That's for Gabriel Bortoletti. Days here this weekend in Baku. Bortoletti red flag by crashing into the barriers.
And yeah, this is we don't think he can get back out if he's got a flag. So that's 2 cars in
quite impressive for Colin Pinto to be up.
So we'll see. I mean, there's
And that is what is happening right now. No further, a yellow flag infringement as we get remaining. Alex Albon will go no further to edge his way in front of struggling in practice so far this week. Through and join his teammate George Russell so far this weekend by his teammate Ollie Behrman. Right on the fringes of the knockout zone.
And a cleaner, very typical of a street sort out with suddenly the track ramping up. Even the Ferraris have gone out, and so maybe 18 will be out on track for that.
Teetering their way out now, but an important the Mercedes of Kimi Antonelli in the Drivers' Championship. Williams of Alex Albon. Mercedes with a good qualifying.
Interesting seeing Ollie first push lap. You know, Bernie was talking about it at Haas, and they've gone for a try and build up temperature into the time lap. So Sauber going for a similar Sauber. Yeah, Portoletto also going. Who's that? That is Kimi Antonelli. He's still weaving around. See how much he decides to push on this lap.
Here we go then. 90-degree corners that open down, but losing a little bit of time. Tries Kimi Antonelli attacks the apexes to try and
controlled aggression as well. You do need to have victory off the lap, but his first sector's the one. Antonelli on the medium tyre, so maybe let's see. He's got to get 8.
Though, who are trying to set themselves up to one right now, but that's just been taken away from him. Behind him, a better Q1 so far for top 15 and safe. The Williams of Alex Albon to the top of the timings. Kimi Antonelli has him up inside the top 6.
Fastest on the soft tyre by Lando Norris, and he now goes fastest.
Time around, that puts Esteban Ocon down. Norris bodes well for the fight for pole. A little Isaac Hadjar as well, right on the perimeter. Lawson, who's running well so far this weekend.
See, they've got Esteban Ocon gets a toe, but only 40. Done a good middle sector.
Hulkenberg gets through to 13th, though. Lawson jumps up of Q1. He was then, but this time he gets lap from Gabriel Bortoletto. Puts into flag. Big improvements right at the end. Stroll.
I think they throw the red flag as these guys come across the line.
It's affected, I think, Franco Colapinto. Restart on this one as Pierre Gasly make it through. Neither will Nico Hulkenberg through into Q2.
And so did Alonso. This is Pierre Gasly, so he's coming into turn 3 and just didn't have
well. But we haven't seen who is, according to Flavio Dunce, and he tries to make the corner, and in doing so, scuffs the wall and barrier. It was hard work before the race tomorrow.
Yeah, but I presume so. Is he going to be in trouble?
That would be the ultimate. But I can tell you, Karun, that you will get, it's very likely that minutes 30 to spare after to be the best track conditions. And
Going Gus just before that lockup probably didn't help.
the drivers didn't help, the accidents didn't, and then both crashed.
Yeah.